Assignment, hello, can you hear me? Sorry. Hi everyone, welcome to Sakshi Money Mantra. Nenu Karunya Rao, and every week laga malli okkasari మేము మీతో ఫ్రెష్ పర్స్పెక్టివ్ తీసుకుని మార్కెట్స్ గురించి మాట్లాడతాం, మార్కెట్ అసెస్మెంట్, మార్కెట్ అవుట్లుక్ అండ్ మోర్. ఇవాళ మాతో జాయిన్ అవబోతున్నారు AK Prabhakar from IDBI Capital. Mr. Prabhakar, thank you so much for chatting with us.
Thank you.
So first things first, last few days lo chala strong buying come back chasing the market loni. So do you think the resilience will continue, because FII has turned buyers after a very long time? So what are the triggers in place, and does this rally have more legs?
Yeah, there are few points which we need to have in mind. One is, the inflation coming down. That is one important thing. And normally during the year end, there is a pressure towards withdrawal of money because they have their Christmas during the thing, which happens by October end or first week of November. So the foreign selling is now over. So it is converting into slow buying. And India has got a slight higher weightage in the MSCI index, Morgan Stanley Composite Index, which is also adding to our weightage. So I think more buying will be coming in those stocks which are coming in the Morgan Stanley Composite Index and mid cap index also. There are many stocks which are coming in. India weightage there has gone up, and lower inflation. Now this will give a respite to global markets. And very important, crude, which everybody was fearing, has come down to 75, around the level $75, which is giving India more comfort. If you see the trade data, our data was very bad due to gold imports from India.
Yeah.
But now with crude coming down and now the festival season behind us, I think trade data for November will be far better.
In fact, just yesterday, we చూసాం crude oil prices witnessing its biggest decline in a long time. So crude oil, do you think will stay at these low levels, especially how dynamic the geopolitical scenario is? What do you think, and what do you suggest that investors should expect?
Crude is something very difficult. In last 32 years, everybody has got it wrong on the crude. Somebody told crude will come to 40 also in 2008. So no, it is very difficult to put a price to crude because there are too many moving parts there and we get it wrong. So I think it is safer to leave it alone now, and it has its own dynamics.
Right. Okay. Let's talk about some near-term triggers. Ivala మేము news చూసాం about RBI increasing credit risk weight on unsecured consumer loans by banks, by NBFCs. So how are you reading into this announcement and this development? Is it going to be positive for large-scale banks? Because credit card companies and even mid-sized banks like RBL, etc., today they have tanked quite a bit. So what is your assessment of this decision?
We need to understand, the unsecured credit was growing at a faster pace, and it has to be controlled. We cannot allow like what is happening in US, and then customers, should not feel the pinch. Whatever I can understand. Now India is more responsible towards its people. Now I know many people who are in US where if you spend on the internet, no, you don't get OTP also. Here you are protected by a OTP. No, and there is something called PIN when you spend on credit card. So no, we protect our customers more than the developed nation. So no, as India, no, we are very protective. So no, I think it is a proactive step and it is a right step in the right direction. So that we don't give people too much space and then we are not behind them to collect that money. So we are harassing people by giving them first and then collecting it also. We need to harass them. So I think it is better. Safety is far better than collecting it. So I think few companies will be impacted. SBI card has seen impact.
Yeah.
RBL Bank, which is trying to do that business, improving their credit card business, they have seen impact. Even Bajaj Finance will be impacted due to this. But PSU banks, they are very minuscule in that, so I don't think they will have a problem. And even HDFC Bank was very cautious in this, so there we will not have a problem. And housing finance anyway, they are more safer because there is no restriction. So your PNB housing or Canfin homes or LIC housing will not have an impact in this.
Correct. But, this decision has had a ripple effect on all these NBFC banking, card companies, all of that. But still, overall mood of the market is fairly afloat. Nifty is staying afloat. What do you think is aiding right now the sentiment?
Today, if you notice, railway stocks have moved higher. And there is always, and insurance stocks have done very well. HDFC Life, ICICI Pru, SBI Life, I think, today made an all-time high. So life insurance has not been performing for a very long time, so they have come back. So that is moving the market. I think life insurance in the next 3-4 weeks, there could be a sizable rally because this segment has not moved for the last 3 years. So it has been an underperformer. So valuation has now come down. So it is very attractive for somebody who wants to trade for next 3 to 6 months. And even hospital stocks have done very well. After results, Narayana Hirdalaya, it has given a wonderful rally. And I think more upside is possible. I was listening to the con call where this has the best valuation in the hospital segment. And they have about 6,000 beds. And if you take any metrics, they are doing better. Let it be return on capital employed or their way of doing business, and they are scaling up. So very soon, this stock can give us another 15 to 20%. And I was hearing healthcare global, which is more into cancer cure. This is a specialty hospital, and it focuses only on cancer cure. And there is a turnaround I see. They say they have about 400 oncologists, and nowhere you can find so many people in one place. So they are a specialty, and almost 1,900 crores is the revenue they did last year. And going forward, I think 15 to 20% growth is what I see. So there are pockets of good results, and where as an investor, as a trader, you can place yourself.
ఓకే గ్లోబల్ సినారియో ది మీ అసెస్మెంట్ ఏంటి? ఎందుకంటే ఇన్ఫ్లేషన్ నంబర్స్ బాగా సాఫ్ట్ గా వచ్చాయి యుఎస్ మార్కెట్ నుంచి, యుఎస్ ఎకానమీ నుంచి. అండ్ నౌ పీపుల్ ఆర్ ఎక్స్పెక్టింగ్ రేట్ హైక్ సైకిల్ హ్యాస్ పీక్డ్ అండ్ సాఫ్ట్ ల్యాండింగ్ కుడ్ బి అ పాసిబిలిటీ. సో మీ అసెస్మెంట్ ఏంటి అండ్ హౌ విల్ దాట్ ఇంపాక్ట్ వాట్స్ హ్యాపెనింగ్ ఇన్ ఇండియా?
I think global markets has very minimum impact on India. See, if you are looking at next 5 to 10 years, India will be the best growth market, and we have all dynamics in place, and there are many things which are happening. China plus one, on the ground level is happening, more dramatically, and there are divide which the globe is having. India is favored by many countries, and that is slowly happening. It will take 2-3 years, but by the time the stock market will already discount. So I don't think what is happening globally will impact us much, because for example, in defense, if you take all our companies are doing very good. You take most of the defense PSUs, they have reduced the salary, the salary component, which was very high in the last 9-10 years. They have reduced that, and their revenue they have improved at 15% CAGR. And going forward also they are likely to grow at 15 to 20%. And there are many tie-ups which are happening. If you take engines, aircraft engines, which was never made in India, today there are multiple companies which have signed agreements with India. So there are many things which are happening. So over the next 2 to 5 years, many things will be developed in India, and it will be made in India and exported abroad, because they don't have manpower. We have the manpower to do it. So I think we should not look at what is happening globally and compare with India. India will be unique in the next 2 to 5, 10 years. So we have to keep India separate, away from all the global risks.
Okay. Let's talk about some more near-term events. Of course, Lok Sabha elections 2024 will be a big event for next year. And before that, we expect Chestunara government spending increase to infrastructure space low, like both a strong revival in consumption space, etc. Ahead of elections, do you see any of such kickbacks coming in?
I have my doubt. Nearing the election, the spending comes down, the concentration goes on to election. So so all the people, they are more interested, in getting the votes and not in the developmental thing. So and with code coming in and other things happening, so that process will get slowed, as we go towards February. So now itself, state election is happening. The spending is not happening in those states. Tendering is not happening. If you take the highway department, North data is saying the tendering is not happening. So there is a slowdown when it comes to government spending. But the first 6 months, the spending has been very good. So those ripple down effect will start happening. But fresh spending, I have my doubt it will happen. Yeah, long-term reforms will happen, but short-term things will be in the back burner, is my feeling.
Okay. I have some questions also coming in from our viewers, some queries and questions. Now, IPO market. I mean, we've seen a lot of new, companies getting listed in the market. There was Protean. Then last week we saw Mama Earth as well. So, primary markets low. Do you think this is a good time to get invested in, not for just listing gains, but for longer term investment standpoint as well?
See, data says, if you take last 15 years data, now 90% of the IPOs have given negative return for a person who is looking at 5 years. It is just 10% which is given them for positive returns. So you have to be, you have to pick the right stock, and you have to pick the right time. Now there are few stocks which have given very good returns. I'm not saying no, but 90%. So understand which company, what valuation you are buying, it is very difficult. I'll give you an example. Paytm. Now it listed up. The IPO price is 2,000, and today it is 50% of it. And when it will go to, nobody knows. So whether you will get your price or not. Car trade was there. Car trade. Many IPOs came. I don't want to give specific companies, but many IPOs came. But they are not back to their IPO level. So you need to understand the risk of investing in IPO, because as a lay investor, where data is not there, it is better they avoid. Now, it is for an institutional investor or an informed investor. The retail should stay away from IPO, is my personal view. Now, people might like it or not like it. But, see, if you take Infosys, TCS, they have 20 years data. But we are talking about an IPO company where even 1 year data is not available, based on which what is that you are going to analyze and why you are going to invest. Now, I will tell you, I was tracking hospital. Each hospital has their own specialty. Very important is that there is something called Jupiter Life. Now, they say they want to own the property. They are not on the lease property. And they say we are in the western part of India, and we will only concentrate on insurance. So 70% of their business is done by insurance coverage. So now each one has their motto, they have their thing, ball path business. And retail mostly don't understand what is the purpose and why this company has come with the IPO. Talked about Mama. No, I can for me, I cannot digest the valuation they have come. So no,
Yeah.
if it is my money, I will not invest. Even if it comes 70% down, I will not put my money. I like something where no the margin of safety is there. So I need to be convinced where my margin of safety is there. Each one has their margin of safety because everyone's money is a hard-earned money. So they need to understand the risk before they invest. That is more important. Where IPO, you don't have that kind of data.
Correct. Makes sense. So perhaps retail investors should do thorough research, like better to stay away.
Lot of options.
Correct. So, today, obviously, there's a lot of queries which are coming from the banking, NBFC, financial space. So, my questions are Bajaj Finance, Mida, Canara Bank, Spandana Smoothie. Of course, all three of them are different. Bajaj Finance is a large cap NBFC. There is Canara Bank, which is a strong PSU player, and Spandana Smoothie, which is into micro lending. But within this space, any favorites that you have or that you would like to recommend to our viewers?
I like housing finance. PNB informed that 3,500 crores they are going. The board meeting is on for 24th November. So now if they continuously housing finance is rising funds and you have a new CEO who has gone from Canfin Homes to PNB, I think there is a good purpose there. And Canfin Homes also, you have a new MD CEO, and if you give him time, I think he will start doing a good work. And the AUM is just 30,000 crores, around 30,000 crores. And the possibility is next 5 years, it can go to 60, 70,000 crores. And there is a growth momentum in Canfin Home also. It has a good parentage. So I think housing finance at this point of time, as HDFC has gone out of business and it had about 5 lakh crore of AUM, that gap can be filled by these small housing finance company. So I like these two in that space. PSU Bank, I think this correction gives you an opportunity. Union Bank, after a very attractive. I like the bank. And the management said, 9,000 crores in this half, they will collect from the, return on assets. So that is something which will add to their profit. So, that there are always value proposition, but we need to be mindful. Life insurance started to perform. Now we can look at life insurance also.
All right. Okay. Our next viewer is asking, what is a smart and extensive way to analyze micro cap stocks? Do you have a tip or a suggestion here?
It is very difficult. See, for me, even companies below 1,000 crores is very difficult. Micro cap, 100 crore, 50 crore companies, if you know the management or you go personally, see it is very difficult. Now, reading balance sheet also, it will not give you a lot of insights. Now, and these micro cap companies do not have con calls. No, there are, these con calls are uploaded in NSE and BSE web. It is very good for investors to listen to the con call. If you are, for example, if you want to invest in one single company, listen to the whole sector so that you get a different perspective. So that is far better. That is a good learning for the investors, retail people.
Okay. All right. From micro caps, I want to shift focus on small and mid caps. In fact, small cap index again has hit a new high recently. So tell us about what is happening in the current market, because mid and small caps outperformance chala time nunchi consistent ga continue avutondi if we compare it to benchmarks. But of course, blue chip companies are considered much more safer, much more steadier. So మీరు ఎలా అనలైజ్ చేస్తున్నారు ఈ సిచ్యువేషన్ ని? Should one actively look at buying maybe mid and small cap stocks? Do they have more steam left?
See, for me, I look at value picks. I'm not worried about large cap, mid cap, and small cap. For me, Now my ballpark is more than 1,000 crore market cap. I'm comfortable, and if they have enough disclosure, and if the promoter is good or if the transparency is there, I'm fine with it. So no, I'm not too sticky about things. But there are many companies where value is there. For example, I'll give you EID Parry. The market cap is 8,800 crores, but they hold 56% stake in Coromandel International. So if you calculate that itself is almost 18 to 20,000 crore valuation. So no, you are not paying anything more for EID business, which is there in sugar, which is there in ethanol, which is there in FMCG. Like they sell sugar, gur, and other products also, for which you don't pay any valuation, and they have specialty chemical also. So it trades at 8.8 or 9 times trailing EPS. So that is something. Graphite market cap is 9,000 crores, and 3,200 crores they have cash in the balance sheet. And if we need to pollution free, then all the steel companies has to go into EAF, that is electric arc furnace. And in HEG report, they in their presentation they mentioned that globally, excluding China, 49% is electric arc furnace. That means it has to double from here. And if you take China, it is 1%. So that means once people Europe comes with the carbon tax, China cannot export to them. So Indians will have a big advantage. Indian steel companies will have a big advantage because we are moving towards electric arc furnace, and graphite, HEG are going to be the major player there. And this is used in electric vehicles also. Graphite electrodes and other things are used in electric vehicles for the battery making. So it is going to be a dual beneficiary. So I think today, because the markets are very down, these stocks don't have good valuation. But for a company where 9,000 crore is a market cap, 3,200 is the cash in their balance sheet, for a long-term investor, it makes a lot of sense to buy and hold.
Correct. Okay. So we've talked about healthcare, we've talked about consumption infra, we've talked about a host of other, banks as well. But going into, the end of the year, near-term low A sectors, like A themes, most promising కనబడుతున్నాయి మీకు.
Auto ancillaries is something where the numbers are speaking good. But people Hero said that their 32 days festival sales was higher by 17%, and it was an all-time high sales. So Hero should do good. Eicher Motor, in spite of competition, they are still selling premium bike at a space which we cannot imagine also. So and we have CIE Auto, which is an auto ancillary company. Sonacom, which is a major the differential gear supplier to many EV players across the globe. And our minister was there in in Tesla plant. He said Indians are supplying, we need to increase it. These are companies which are going to benefit. So there are plays there. And textile, if we get a free trade agreement with UK, textile is a theme which will play out.
Okay. All right, Mr. Prabhakar, మాతో మాట్లాడడానికి thank you very much, and for sharing your picks, your thoughts, and your suggestions మా viewers తో కూడా share చేయడానికి. Thanks a lot once again for joining me.
Thank you.